On the night of December 23rd, 1987, Nikki Sixx was pronounced dead. This is the story of what happened that night and how he came back to life on this week's episode of The Rock Crew. Nikki Sixx, the bass player and mastermind of the notorious rock band Motley Crue, known as much for their wild lifestyle as they are for their music. But by 1987, Motley Crue were at their height of fame on the Girls, Girls, Girls tour. The band was out of control with their wild lifestyle of hard partying, but none more so than Nikki Sixx, whose life was spiralling out of control. And it would all come to a head on the fateful night of Wednesday the 23rd of December, 1987. Nikki had been partying hard all night in LA with Guns N' Roses members Slash and Steven Adler. Rat's Robin Crosby was also there too. The Rockers went to a room in the Franklin Apartments to carry on the party. This is where Nikki, already intoxicated, instructed his dealer to inject him with his drug of choice, heroin. This turned out to be a fatal decision. Soon after, Nikki passed out and started turning blue. There are a few stories and claims of what happened next, but in the hazy moment of an intoxicated blur, stories are probably merged. Steven Adler claims to have dragged Nikki into the shower to try and revive him. Other stories have Slash's girlfriend attempting CPR while Slash trashed the room. But what we know is, as the paramedics arrived, Nikki was not breathing, and after attempting CPR, the paramedics pronounced him dead. In this moment, Nikki describes it as an out-of-body experience. I tried to sit up to figure out what was going on. I thought it would be hard to lift my body, but to my surprise I shot upright, as if I weighed nothing. Then it felt as if something gentle was grabbing me from my head and pulling me upwards. Above me everything was bright white. I looked down and realised I had left my body. Nikki Sixx, or the filthy tattooed container that had once held him, was lying covered, face to toe, with a sheet on a gurney, being pushed by medics into an ambulance. As Nikki's lifeless body was loaded into the ambulance, the universe stepped in and decided it was not his time. One of the paramedics, who was also a Motley Crue fan, was not going to give up on his hero just yet, and with a last-ditch effort they decided to try a shot of adrenaline straight to his heart. As the adrenaline rushed through his veins, Nikki's heart kick-started and brought him back to life. News of Sixx's death was being reported and circulated around LA. Motley Crue singer Vince Neil heard the news via the radio. He was sat at home devastated that his best friend had gone, but not shocked. As Nikki came to, fans had started gathering outside the hospital, hearing the news, but Nikki had other ideas and a stay in hospital was not on the cards. There was a policeman asking me questions, so I told him to fuck off. I pulled the tubes that were plugged into me and I went out into the parking lot, only in my leather pants, where there were two teens sitting crying around a candle. They'd heard on the radio that I was dead and were surprised to see me. The legend claims they lent him a jacket and gave him a sermon about drug abuse whilst giving him a ride home. When Sixx arrived home, he changed his answering machine message to, "Hi, this is Nikki Sixx, I can't answer at the moment because I'm dead," then proceeded to get high again, instantly passing out on the bathroom floor. After waking up, Sixx realised he had been given a second chance and needed to change his ways. The whole band decided to follow Sixx's lead and get sober before they all ended up dead. The incident inspired one of their biggest hits to date, Kickstart My Heart, which was released in 1989 on the Dr. Feelgood album, Motley's first sober album, which went to number 1. But it would take another decade for Nikki to fully overcome his demons. Now in 2021 he has been sober for 20 years and still going strong. Now a spokesperson against drug addiction and trying to help others from falling victim to addictions like himself. This year of his life is also documented in the Heroin Diaries, a book consisting of the journals Nikki kept over this period. Motley Crue are bigger than ever in 2021 thanks to the hit movie The Dirt and are planning a massive stadium world tour with Def Leppard, Poison and Joan Jett. But how things could have been different if on that night he didn't get a second chance. Thank you for tuning in on this week's episode of The Rock Crew.